Caribbean, VON Radio, from the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis.
From the VON Newsline, this is the VON Major Newscast.
Good evening, I am Tasha Tyson, in with your VON Major News package for today, Friday 17th January 2020. In our late stories, nationally, rape a growing concern in St. Kitts and Nevis, what are authorities doing to deter predators? And Minister Grant refused allegations of ships being cancelled in St. Kitts. Regionally, CARICOM launches Energy Innovation Challenge. Internationally, Malta Police Chief quits after criticism over journalist murder. And in sports, long jumper Gail Sprinter Fraser Prize, front runners for top sports awards. We'll have the details of these and other stories after this message.
Another look.
Different from how you've seen it before.
Another look.
Takes an in-depth look into business, politics, science, technology, religion, and more.
Another look.
Featuring documentaries from the BBC, regional features, and local ones too.
Another look.
Every Monday at 3 p.m. on the Eastern Caribbean's powerhouse, VON.
Welcome back, and now the national news in detail. Women here in St. Kitts and Nevis have over the past few months been the targets of predators in the Federation and been victims of rape. As we enter the final months of 2019, there were increases of rape incidents on St. Kitts. A number of individuals have since been charged and convicted for those offences. Women and children who are more susceptible to these attacks need to be safeguarded, and the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force is seeking to provide such safety across the communities in the Federation. Speaking on the Thursday 16th edition of Policing with You, Commander of District A on St. Kitts, Superintendent Cromwell Henry, had this to say.
The police cannot be everywhere every time, and if we are, nothing would happen most times. And so the perpetrator would wait for an opportunity when there is no police around. So we advise ladies who are moving at nights or early in the morning to move in groups. And so we advise always go in pairs if you cannot go in a group.
Insufficient, some may say. Being in groups may not necessarily prevent individuals from attacking females and children. The VON Newsline contacted the Assistant Commissioner of Police responsible for operations, Adolph Adams, concerning other measures that can be taken as it relates to the law and safety in this aspect in the country. We asked about disclosing names of perpetrators, and this was his response.
We are putting a lot in place to ensure that our persons remain safe, especially the women and our young children. But the law clearly indicates that when it comes to sexual matters, we cannot divulge names that are involved in sexual offences. We cannot do that. Amendment will have to be made to the law. Police just cannot get up willy-nilly and do as they like. We have to follow the guidelines of the law.
Is there really nothing more that can be done to deter these predators in our society? Premier of Nevis and Minister of National Security in the NIA, and also member of the Federal Parliament, the Honorable Mark Brantley, in an interview with the Media House, indicated that the authorities are doing all in their power to ensure safety in our communities, and noted that one cannot simply stop one from committing a criminal offence. He explained that additional measures can be taken to further deter criminals from committing such acts.
There is nothing forbidding the publication of the names of anybody who goes through a trial and is convicted, charged and convicted of a serious offense such as rape. Now, if you are talking about going further, as they do in places like the United States, where they have sexual offenders registers, well, that is a different matter, and I believe that's a matter that the Ministry of National Security would have to consider after some consultation with the public and the relevant stakeholders.
The Honorable Mark Brantley. In the midst of recent allegations that cruise ships refused to berth at the piers in St. Kitts, Minister of Tourism in St. Kitts, Honorable Lindsay Grant, refuted the allegations during the Prime Minister's monthly press conference on Wednesday, January 15th. Over the past several days, the VON Newsline has received reports of such, with the most recent one stating that on Tuesday, January 14th, the MS Azura was unable to dock at Port Zante. Reports from the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party suggested at the time that the ship did not dock because the second cruise pier continues to have the problem of huge rocks on the seabed. However, the St. Kitts Tourism Authority stated that the ship was unable to call at Port Zante on Tuesday, 14 January, due to strong winds causing hazardous seas. Here is Minister Grant.
I want to lay to rest the propaganda I've seen about why the ships are cancelling. I mean, come on. The ships are not cancelling because of anything in St. Kitts and Nevis other than the weather. Because if you look at the communication out of Antigua, they're having the same problem also, the weather. And so we can't do anything about that. That's God's work. What I can say that we have two beautiful piers that can berth 4 huge ships, not dinghies, but huge ships. And we continue to do that.
Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Lindsay Grant. In police news, an incident in which a man was shot and injured during an armed robbery is being investigated by authorities. According to a police communique, close to 4 a.m. today, Friday, January 17th, an armed masked assailant entered the home of Shakim Joseph of Ponds Extension, St. Kitts. Thus far, investigations revealed that the assailant demanded items to be handed over and injured the victim at some point during the incident. The victim was taken to the JNF General Hospital, where he is warded in a stable condition. The police responded, as well as members of the forensic unit, and items of evidential value were taken into police custody. Investigations into the matter continues. Persons with information about this incident are asked to contact the Violent Crimes Unit, VCU, at 467-1887 or call the crime hotline at 707. Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. Honorable Timothy Harris, has praised the just concluded Sugar Mass 48 on St. Kitts. In opening remarks at his first press conference for 2020 and for the new decade, the Prime Minister Harris highly praised the event. He noted that this carnival season was the largest and best in our Federation's history, attributing it to the peace and calm achieved in the nation.
Record turnout was recorded at the Calypso Show and other events. Children, families, friends, and even former foes laughed and danced together through the many events. Our Juve and Last Lap events were free of major incidents. Respect for law and order was high and noticeable. During Carnival, people told me how safe they felt, how excited they were, and how they never believed events in St. Kitts and Nevis could be held this way and without crime.
He further commended the law enforcement officials and others for maintaining law and order and for upholding peace throughout the festival.
I thank the police officers, the Defense Force officers, Sudaya High Command Commissioner Hilroy Brandy and Colonel Anthony Comrie, the attendants and the other security staff who gave of their time to make this carnival not only the best, but perhaps the safest in recent time. I also must thank my friend and colleague, the Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable Sean Richards, for all the hard work he and his team undertook to make this carnival season not only the best, but indeed one of the safest.
Dr. Honorable Timothy Harris. The festival ran from November 8, 2019 to January 4, 2020 and was held under the theme, Why Wait? Let's Celebrate Sugar Mass 48. Urology Associates will host their annual prostate screening tomorrow, Saturday, January 18th at 6 a.m. at the Occasion Center here on Nevis. The screening is a process used to detect undiagnosed prostate cancer in men without signs or symptoms. The VON Newsline spoke with Dr. Dwayne Thwaites on Thursday, January 15th, who provided some insight into the benefits derived from the screening.
For me and for most of the team is the smoothness and how we can go about getting this prostate screening done, because I know those guys will tell you they've tried to do this in many other places and we haven't been able to. So putting together a team that understands, and we're doing this for 13 years, understands how it goes. The other thing is getting the ability to screen maximum amount of people on such a short time, the way how we organize it with the PSAs and everything like that, that's a different kind of an experience for us. And also, I think for most of the doctors, consistency in the patient care, that the patient who comes out. So most of the people do follow up.
Dr. Dwayne Thwaites. According to Dr. Thwaites and his team, which includes Doctors Chris Gomez, Dan Caruso, and Brian Cohen, men ages 40 to 75 are asked to take advantage. More than 1,700 winners throughout the Caribbean have collectively won over US $500,000, complements Digicel's Shake to Win promotion. Digicel Group is a communications and entertainment provider with operations in 31 markets in the Caribbean, Central America, and Asia Pacific. Back in late November 2019, Digicel teamed up with radio stations across St. Kitts and Nevis to offer customers prizes for answering their phone and saying, "Shake to win with Digicel." 28 countries in the Caribbean participated, and by December 24th, according to a release from Digicel, there were 1,772 winners from across the Caribbean. Marketing executive for Digicel, Yorani Morton, gives us more.
We at Digicel, we are all into exciting new things. And so for this Christmas promotion, we literally wanted to shake things up. And so we came up with a promotion that was dubbed the Shake to Win, whereby customers who were on active eligible plans would be able to shake their phones to win prizes. And these included tangible and intangible gifts, cash, data plans, bolt-ons to their plans, etc. And quite a few customers would have won from that part of the promotion. But we also had a radio component where we were calling customers on these plans, and if they knew the phrase that pays, they were able to secure themselves cold, hard cash ranging from $100 at the beginning of the promotion to $1,000 coming up at the end just before Christmas.
She also provided some figures relating to the number of persons who won from both St. Kitts and Nevis.
We had a total of about 100 winners, and 33 of those were from St. Kitts and Nevis in the radio promotion, and they actually won themselves portions of about $25,000 cash. And so we're actually ecstatic about that, because we know that it's Christmas time, and that's the time when people will be needing a little extra income even more. So we were happy to be able to deliver something like that. And the remainder of the Shake It winners, about 77 or so, would have won prizes in the actual app when they shook to win on their phones. In total, we gave away over $50,000.
Marketing executive for Digicel, Yorani Morton. And finally, students and teachers at the Washington Archibald High School, WAHS, in St. Kitts, evacuated the school compound on Wednesday, January 15th because of a suspected fire. Chief Fire Officer at the St. Kitts Nevis Fire and Rescue Services is Mr. Everett O'Garo.
When the crew got on the scene, there was no sign of any fire. It was informed by officials from the school that the smell of smoke, a suspicious odor that smelled observed in one of the classrooms. Closer observation would have revealed that during the rain, I would have fallen and water would have entered the school and would have entered some open electrical socket that is located in one of the classrooms, and probably would have caused some sparks. We would have found the officials at the school to take a serious look at this, because this is a safety hazard. And so officials from the school, with their maintenance team, also personnel from SCELEC was also present. And so we brought their attention to the situation, and when we left the situation, officials was basically taking care of the situation.
Chief Fire Officer at the St. Kitts Nevis Fire and Rescue Services, Mr. Everett O'Garo. That's the national news segment. You can visit our website at www.vonradio.com or check us out on Facebook at Von Radio or our Von Radio YouTube channel for these and other stories. News from across the region is next.
At the Bank of Nevis, we know you have your personal as well as your business needs, and we're here to help. Our knowledgeable staff will work with you to help you achieve the financial success that you or your company needs in a competitive market. We offer solutions to make your banking experience easier, like our savings and checking accounts. Be sure to ask about our youth savers accounts and our Bank of Nevis Go Club. We offer a wide range of personal loans, including mortgage, land, student, auto, and consumer loans. Have access to your funds instantly with our Be Online internet banking and our debit and credit cards. We make international banking and investing easy. How's your business? Give it the leverage it really needs by letting the Bank of Nevis assist you with all the necessary funding for all your business expenses. It's that easy. What are you waiting for? The Bank of Nevis Limited, improving the quality of life.
Like us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/The Bank of Nevis.
Welcome back. Another regional news in detail. Out of Barbados. Caribbean students are being asked to design novel concepts for use and management of science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics (STEAM) as part of a regional initiative launched by the Barbados-based Caribbean Center for Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency, CCREEE. CCREEE, in collaboration with the Guyana-based Caribbean Community CARICOM Secretariat, launched the CARICOM Energy Innovation Challenge, which is open to teams of primary and secondary school students. The organizers said that the students are being asked to make submissions indicating the importance of a STEAM lab to their school, community, and everyday life. Secondary students are being asked to design novel concepts for use and management of the STEAM Center. The best proposal for bringing the STEAM Center and student network to life will determine the first pilot CARICOM STEAM Center. This competition is very much in line with the CCREE's mission and mandate to transform the Caribbean energy landscape, said CCREE's Executive Director Dr. Gary Jackson. Head of the Energy Unit within the CARICOM Secretariat, Dr. Devon Gardner, said mini-grids will be an important component of these STEAM centers. Out of the Bahamas. Dozens of Chinese nationals without proper papers have been smuggled from the Bahamas to South Florida by operators of luxury yachts who are charging them thousands of dollars each for the short Atlantic journey, according to federal criminal cases. In recent instances, the Coast Guard stopped 2 vessels approaching the South Florida shore, leading to the arrest of 3 men accused of transporting a total of 26 Chinese passengers and 1 Bahamian, court records show. The alien smuggling operations were not related, however. Rocco Opidiciano, a 51-year-old Italian national, is scheduled for arraignment in a Miami federal court today, Friday, on charges of conspiring to transport aliens into the United States and bringing them there for financial gain. Opidiciano told a magistrate judge Wednesday that properties he once owned in the Northeast have been sold along with his Mercedes-Benz, Porsche, and Fiat vehicles to pay for legal costs over his immigration troubles. Opidiciano was stopped by the Coast Guard on December 2nd while he was commandeering a 63-foot Sunseeker yacht named INXS Finally, with 14 Chinese passengers and 1 Bahamian, according to an indictment. Among the passengers was a Chinese national, Ying Lianli, who was deported last April but tried to re-enter the country. And finally, out of Antigua. Antigua has recorded its first homicide for 2020. The victim of a fatal shooting on Thursday, 16th January, has been identified as Troy Samuel. Samuel was gunned down and reportedly shot 9 times in Bendals Village at approximately 8 p.m. The police have detained 27-year-old Jamal Adams in connection to the incident. That's it for Original Stories. Stay with us for news from around the world.
Center and City Drugstore Nevis, your one-stop shop for all your school supply needs. Get bundle savings on backpack and computer packages, but save 20% off all back-to-school materials and printers. Back-to-school shopping is made easy at TDC Business Center and City Drugstore Nevis. See stores for details.
Welcome back on all the international news in detail. Malta's police chief has quit following criticism of his handling of the investigation into the murder of anti-corruption journalist Daphne Caruana Galizia. New Prime Minister Robert Abella announced Lawrence Qatar's resignation as police commissioner at a news conference on Friday, 4 days after he took office, with a pledge to strengthen the rule of law on the Mediterranean island. The BBC's Damien Grammaticus reports.
Malta's police chief has long faced calls to resign. Most vocal among his critics have been the family of the journalist Daphne Caruana Galizia. She worked to expose corruption on the Mediterranean island and was killed in a car bombing 3 years ago. At the time, her family said Police Commissioner Lawrence Kudajar had failed to investigate high-level politicians she'd accused of corruption. He'd failed to protect the journalist when she received threats, and he'd failed, they said, to properly investigate her death.
Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has defended the country's armed forces after it admitted shooting down a passenger plane by mistake. He said the Revolutionary Guard, the elite unit responsible for the disaster, maintained the security of Iran. Widespread protests and criticism from abroad have put growing pressure on Iran over its handling of the incident. But Ayatollah tried to rally support as he led Friday prayers in Tehran for the first time since 2012. The Ukraine International Airlines Boeing 737-800 was traveling to Kiev from Tehran on 8th January when it crashed shortly after takeoff. All 176 passengers on board, including nationals from Iran, Canada, Sweden, and the UK, were killed. Ukraine's Prime Minister Oleksiy Honchkorok has tendered his resignation after a leaked audio recording apparently revealed him criticizing the president. A voice sounding like Mr. Honchkorok's, but not officially confirmed as his, says President Vladimir Zelensky only has a primitive grasp of economics. Mr. Honchkorok also appears to admit that he himself is not good at economics. Mr. Zelensky, a TV comedian and businessman, was elected last April. The BBC's Jonah Fisher reports.
It's looking ever more likely that Ukraine's Prime Minister is going to survive insulting the President. Despite having started the day by submitting a letter of resignation, Oleksiy Goncharuk has continued to work as normal. It appears that Ukraine's President, Volodymyr Zelensky, has not taken too seriously Mr. Goncharuk's comment in a meeting last year that the former comedian only had a primitive understanding of economics. Instead, President Zelensky appears more concerned by who recorded and leaked the audio.
And finally, The 100 lawmakers of the U.S. Senate were sworn in on Thursday as jurors for the impending impeachment trial of President Donald Trump. Chief Justice of the Supreme Court John Roberts administered the oath to the senators to do impartial justice. In the coming weeks, the senators will decide whether Mr. Trump should be removed from office over charges brought by the House of Representatives. The trial is scheduled to begin on 21st January. Mr. Trump is accused of abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. He has denied wrongdoing and branded the case against him as a hoax. That brings us to the end of our news segments. The latest in sports is next. Welcome back. Another sports in detail. In athletics, MVP athletes Taja Gale and Shelley Ann Price Fraser are heavy favorites to be crowned 2019 RJR Gleaner Foundation Sportsman and Sportswoman of the Year at what is expected to be a glittering awards function at the Pegasus Hotel tonight. Gale, who stunned the world by copying gold in the men's long jump at the World Champions with 8.62 meters, which was the longest jump in the world for 10 years, should easily secure his first sportsman title of the year. His main challenge should come from 2018 winner Frederick Jekers, who won silver in the discus at the World Championships, Caribbean squash champion Christopher Binning, and Yona Knight Wisdom, Pan American Games diving silver medalist. Gale would join James Beckford, who won in 1995, 1996, and 2003, as the second long jumper to win the prestigious award since it started in 1961. Meanwhile, Fraser Price should win her fourth Sportswoman of the Year award following her gold medal run to the World Championships in London last year. It was a stunning return to the track as she won her fourth 100-meter world title in a world-leading 10.71 seconds after giving birth to her son in 2017. Athletics has dominated the awards in its 58-year history, with males winning 29 times and women 50 times. In cricket, Ollie Pope struck his first of what will surely be many test series, and Ben Stokes cracked 100 of his own to put England in a dominant position on day 2 of the third test against South Africa in Port Elizabeth. Pope dazzled for 135 not out at 22 years and 15 days, becoming the first player to make a maiden test 100 for England since Alistair Cook in 2006. Stokes continued his stellar form for 120 to take the tourists to 499 for 9, all declared. The first time England has made more than 400 batting first for over 2 years. The fifth wicket pair extended their overnight partnership to 203, crushing the spirit of the South Africa attack. Sam Curran and Mark Wood took advantage, Curran adding a breezy 44 and Wood swinging his way to 42 from only 23 deliveries, including 5 sixes. Summarized scores: England 499 for 9, all declared. Pope 135 not out. Stokes 120. Maharaj 5 for 118. South Africa 60 for 2. Best 2 for 12. South Africa trailed by 439 runs. And finally, South Africa pace bowler Rabada has been banned for the final test against England following his celebration of Joe Root's dismissal on the first day of the third test. The seamer screamed next to England's skipper after bowling him for 27 in Port Elizabeth. The International Cricket Council has given him 1 demerit point, which means he has now 4 in a 2-year period. That triggers a 1-test ban. The 4th test of the series, which is level at 1-all, begins on 24th January in Johannesburg. The ICC found Rabada guilty of using language, actions, or gestures which disparage or which could provoke an aggressive reaction from a batter upon his or her dismissal during an international match. That's it for sports. The local weather forecast is next. Welcome back, and now the local weather forecast for St. Kitts and Nevis. Weather tonight will be partly cloudy with a 40% or moderate chance of showers. Weather tomorrow will be partly cloudy with a 20% or slight chance of showers. Winds are east, northeast to east at 15 to 28 kilometers per hour or 8 to 15 knots. Seas are 1.2 to 1.8 meters or 4 to 6 feet. Sunrise tomorrow will be at 6:44 a.m. And that's a wrap of the major news package for today, Friday, 17th January 2020. Before we go, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Nationally, rape a growing concern in St. Kitts and Nevis. What are authorities doing to deter predators? And Minister Grant refutes allegations of ships being cancelled in St. Kitts. Regionally, CARICOM launches Energy Innovation Challenge. Internationally, Malta police chief quits after criticism over journalists' murder. And in sports, long jumper Gale, sprinter Fraser Price, front runners for top sports awards. On behalf of the rest of the news team, I am Tashron Tyson, wishing you a safe and an enjoyable weekend.